Back up.
That's good, that's good.
That the pattern of violent, ideologically just revolution is already too familiar from such groups as the Order, the White Aryan Resistance, Posse Comitatus, and the Covenant Sword and Arm of the Lord. Our continuing course will be to investigate, indict, and punish those who unleash their bigotry.
What can I do for you?
Good morning. Chase Foster.
Chase
Special Agent of the FBI. It's my partner, Mike Abbott. How you doing? We were wondering if Mr. Vaccaro's here.
We have nothing to say.
Well, I'm just asking if Mr. Vaccaro's here.
We have nothing to say.
Well, so if we're wanting to see if he's here,
You'd have to have a warrant.
we'd need a search warrant.
I was coming home one day and the FBI flashed the badges at me and said, we're the FBI, and I said, well, where'd you get those? Toys R Us, you know? And they said, we're not screwing around with you, and I said, well, I'm not screwing with you either, and they tried to harass me.
And of course, the long-expected banging on the door came, and they banged like it was going to fall down. And I went to the door and I said, who is it? They said, it's the federal government, and we're here to, we want to talk to you. I said, well, that's fine. I've got nothing to say.
Let's see. Well, we need to speak with Mr. Vaccaro. We got a grand jury subpoena for him.
And I have nothing to say.
So finally they did their business. I still had nothing to say, and they left. And we proceeded to have to go to the grand jury. At the time, I believe it was only 2.5 weeks since I had him.
Then they handed me a subpoena to the grand jury, which the racial makeup, it reminded me of an amorphous mass of humanoidal, undulating protoplasm. There were niggers, Mexicans, kikes, and every other kind of a non-white filth you can imagine there. So when they tell you these juries are your peers, they're not your peers.
They just firing questions at me left and right. So I was pretty relieved to get out of there. Of course, what am I going to tell them, I told them at one point, I said, okay, sure, I'll tell you exactly what I know about the bombing. And I sat there like this, and I said, okay, that's all I know. Can I go now?
He said, if I was to ask you about, movement activities, what would you say? And I said I would have to plead the fifth, but there was nothing, supposedly, this grand jury was about the bombing of the federal building, and there was not one question that they asked me that was about that. So obviously they were trying to find out something other than the bombing.
So I took the fifth of the grand jury, and as far as I can see right now, I'll continue taking the fifth on that subject.
Do you know why we're here?
I have nothing to say.
If we tell you, would it do any good?
I have nothing to say.
So as far as you cooperating in any way, even if it does not pertain to, say, a fugitive investigation or...
I have nothing to say, period.
Okay. About anything?
About anything.
Okay. I guess this will be your sign.
Whitney admits the special does not cover every facet of her life, but she enjoyed, she says, opening a part of her world to her fans.
It's just a little bit more of Whitney, what you haven't seen of me, not, all of me.
You've called the media demons.
Blood-sucking demons, yeah.
Out to eat my flesh.
Out to eat my flesh.
Yikes.
Yeah, yeah. It's about me. It's a little more of, what people haven't seen of me. It's behind the scenes of the tour, me being funny, crazy, having a good time.
Let me ask you a question about the clip. You are a very private person. Whenever I ask you a question, even off there, you always say, well, mind your own business. You always my business.
Because you nosy.
Okay. Okay. why would you do a special like this? Because you reveal a lot about yourself.
Do I really?
Although Whitney admits she was reluctant to let cameras follow her, she wanted to show the audience what she's really like.
They'll be glad to know that I'm like them. You know, that I joke around, I laugh, I'm really crazy. Really crazy. Guide me, oh, oh thou great Jehovah.
The youngest of three from a middle-class background, Whitney grew up singing in the choir here. Although her parents split up when she was a teen, they raised her with a strong sense of family and devotion to God.
The Aryan Women's League stance is, when it was founded, was that we have a direct role in the movement, both men and women alike. And since we are the bearers of our children, we have to be responsible for how we raise our children. So that is our aim, is to educate and to raise our children in a way where they can be racially conscious.
Can I ask you one serious question? Something that always...
How serious is it?
Well, it's not about your personal life, it's about a little professional thing that always bothers me.
Oh, really?
What is the deal in the past when you've had the friction at the Soul Train Awards? Where does that come from? For those of you who don't know...
They booed me at Soul Train Awards.
Where do broken hearts go? Whitney Houston.
Though barely audible in the telecast, Whitney heard it loud and clear.
It's not a good feeling.
It must be horrible.
It is horrible, and it's kind of funny. You go, are they booing me? And they say, yeah. You go, oh, how nice.
In Living Color did a sketch, a parody, a takeoff on you called Rhythmless Nation.
Rhythmless Nation.
Right. Now, you describe it.
Well, see, there was, they had dancers who were all in rhythm, but I was the only one out of rhythm, so I guess it indicated that I had no rhythm. Keenan's sister, she played me, and looked nothing like me.
Go on, girl.
Go on, girl. Go on, girl. But you know how they do. When you are popular, a lot of people cap on you. I'm not offended because I got rhythm.
Why have people booed you in the past? Did they not think you were black enough or something?
Sometimes it gets down to that. You're not black enough for them. I don't know. You're not R&B enough.